This Leo full moon is a significant, powerful release of a new vision for not only ourselves as individuals here on Earth, but also a vision for how New Earth may enter our self-awareness around this time and moving forward. I also have some exciting findings of other asteroids highlighting sacred sites on planet Earth. Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the Leo full moon at 13 degrees 4 minutes on February 1st, 2026. Welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us expand into interpreting also our multidimensional and collective energy. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide. There's a link in the pinned comment and description box below. What you'll receive in this video are 3 energetic themes that I've pulled out from the full moon chart. And also at the end, I have some questions for you should you want to integrate this Leo full moon energy some more. I also have some announcements and offerings at the end of the video. The full moon in Leo is in square with the Crux-Acrux fixed star at 12 degrees of Scorpio. And the ruler of this full moon is the sun, in opposition, of course, at a full moon with the full moon at 13 degrees of Aquarius and conjunct asteroid Atlantis at exactly 13 degrees of Aquarius. So the ancient civilization of Atlantis and any ancient civilization archetype is highlighted at this full moon significantly. And I also have some exciting findings of other asteroids highlighting sacred sites on planet Earth that we're going to talk more about in theme 3 coming up. Worth to note also, since the Capricorn new moon, we have Neptune now in Aries since January 26th. This Leo full moon is connected to the heart. And this is also a full moon that brings us into how important it is with self-awareness. This Leo full moon is a significant, powerful release of a new vision for not only ourselves as individuals here on Earth, but also a vision for how New Earth may enter our self-awareness around this time and moving forward. This full moon is a release of a new vision that is for the whole and not for old ego patterns. It may feel like we're inside a chamber of initiation at this time, and it is so because our initiation chamber is really ourselves and our inner world. And each one of us is becoming more aware of the limitations that we may place on ourselves and how we can now take steps to reveal and release those perceived limitations that we may place on ourselves and others. And the sign of Leo that is so significantly highlighted here has to do with courage and the heart. And this is a force of nature that's coming through here and that we also have access to, each one of us, that is supporting this release of courage and vision and heart energy at this time. Because now it's time to conquer our fear. It's time to conquer our fear so that we can become whole and align with universal flow, universal wisdom, and aligning with a higher consciousness. Because many of us have forgotten that we are a multidimensional being. And what does that mean? And that takes courage to turn our attention to ourselves, to become self-aware. And this is a major shift that we have available to us now, because in the daily life that we have, we can also shift our perspective from mundane to magical. And the magical piece here is that we are so much bigger than we think we are as a soul. And this Leo full moon, we are invited to be part, to engage in this process of awakening and become a vessel for higher consciousness. And whatever that means for you in this life, how that takes expression may be very different from soul to soul, individual to individual. It's about the courage it takes to engage in that process over just going on with another week, another year in the same old patterns that we have, where we are fully aware sometimes of the limitations that we are experiencing that may take the expression of resistance or frustration or illness even. And at this full moon in Leo, we're getting a reminder that we are a vessel for higher consciousness, and we're opening up to it and engaging in the process of raising our frequency to a higher frequency so that we can reveal the hidden treasures of engaging with the unseen beyond the physical world. And it all starts with silence. I titled this video Inner Calm, Outer Chaos. And many of us feel that that is the chamber of initiation that we're in, and the silence that we have available to us always. It is the place within where we connect with universal flow. And that is always accessible to us, no matter the chaos on the outside. Because in the silence, we're all connected. The remembrance of wholeness with the universe, with others, and Earth. Before we take a look at the full moon chart, I'd like to share what the energetic themes are. The first theme I called Inner Calm, Outer Chaos. And here we're going to talk about asteroid Hawaii and Haumea, the dwarf planet representing unity consciousness, and also Pluto's conjunction with asteroid Astraea, and also all of this in connection with the Shapley Attractor and Aquila-Altair. The second theme is action with loving kindness. And here we're going to talk about asteroid Chariklo and also Perseus-Capulus. The third theme is cosmic grounding. And here we're going to talk about this Leo full moon's connection to sacred sites on Earth, but also fixed stars, Hydra-Alphard and Lyra-Sulaphat. All right, are you ready for the full moon chart? All right, let's take a look at the Leo full moon chart next. So here we have the Leo full moon chart. And as you can see, the moon and the sun are in opposition here at this full moon. Leo and Aquarius are activated. Also notice the asteroid Atlantis conjunction with the sun here, exactly at 13 degrees of Aquarius. So this axis is significant, and a lot of the placements in this chart is in Aquarius. This is also a reminder to us what we're beginning here, because we just went through the doorway to the Aquarian age here in January, and now we're kicking off this focus on the sign of Aquarius. Now, we have this T-square at this full moon to Crux-Acrux at 12 degrees of Scorpio, and that brings in the depth of direction we're going. And we'll talk more about Crux-Acrux in a second here. So this is a powerful T-square highlighting ancient civilizations as part of the signature energy of this Leo full moon, but also the depth of soul memories that we are digging from, coming into awareness of at this Leo full moon through that T-square with Crux-Acrux. Because the sign of Scorpio is that depth that soul memories often are connected to. So this is a significant reminder of coming into awareness of our multidimensional soul experience that in many ways are connected to ancient civilizations on planet Earth, but also beyond planet Earth. And we're going to talk more about this connection to sacred sites in energetic theme 3 coming up. and also go into depth in the members-only video associated with Theme 3. The constellation of Crux is the Southern Cross, and Acrux is the bottom fixed star there of the cross formation, and it's visible in the southern hemisphere. Acrux is often also linked into ancient civilizations overall because it has been used as a star for navigation in centuries, even beyond that. Acrux carry the archetypal energy of expansion, but also the connection to mystery and sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense that we are often, through pain, coming to a higher perspective on something, that lessons learned, if you will, but it's very much linked into higher realms and our path to awakening in that sense. And what we can see in the chart as well is that T-square is supporting energy for expansion of our awakening at this Leo full moon. And the connection to Atlantis is also very strong through that the sun is shining light on ancient civilization of Atlantis, where it was normal to live in connection with higher consciousness and a multidimensional perspective. So this T-square suggests that we have an opportunity at this Leo full moon to expand into a greater understanding, greater self-awareness of our soul's journey beyond lifetimes on Earth as well, and how we are also seeing the mundane as magical. And this is the true invitation of this full moon, to see that magical experience that we are here to have beyond the physical realm while being in a physical body. So how are you connecting with your higher self, your multidimensional self at this Leo full moon? Because we are also in a energy now where we have an invitation to remove old patterns that may serve the ego more so than the part of ourselves that is connected to it all. All right, let's dive into the first energetic theme, inner calm, outer chaos, next. So here we have the first theme that I called Inner Calm, Outer Chaos. And this theme is centering around this square that we have between asteroid Hawaii at 4 degrees of Scorpio conjunct Shapley Attractor at 2 degrees of Scorpio. And also, as you can see, dwarf planet Haumea in retrograde is exactly conjunct asteroid Hawaii at this Leo full moon. And the Shapley Attractor is adding the magnitude. It's an amplification of the importance of this conjunction between Haumea and Hawaii. And Haumea is the ultimate expression of unity consciousness, integrated higher consciousness between the higher realms and physical realms. But also asteroid Hawaii is said to be the marker for Lemuria, ancient civilization Lemuria, from about 300,000 years ago, I think it's estimated. So this conjunction is highlighting soul memories from ancient times, such as Lemuria. And it's also an echo out in the universe through that conjunction to Shapley Attractor. And Haumea now in retrograde is inviting us to go within, to find that calm that is part of it all, where the integrated experience of balance and harmony between our soul, our body as the vessel, and also our environment. And on the other end of this square, we find Pluto at 3 degrees 44 minutes here in Aquarius, which we are very familiar with, in conjunction with Aquila-Altair at 2 degrees of Aquarius, the eagle's eye, the higher perspective. But now, this time around, you may recall Astraea, asteroid Astraea from the Capricorn new moon was conjunct the new moon. But now Astraea is conjunct Pluto. And this is a powerful, powerful combination here. Pluto conjunct Astraea, both at 3 degrees of Aquarius. So let's synthesize a little bit more about what this square is inviting us to. This square is significant because Pluto's highlight here by asteroid Astraea is an important highlight about permanent transformation and how we maintain peace in chaos and during the process of transformation. And Astraea is highlighting for us here at this full moon that it's important to maintain balance. Astraea is all about justice, balance, harmony, nurturing, but also that is an invitation, even though we are going through the process of transformation that represents Pluto. And Pluto is ruling the sign of Scorpio. So Scorpio is also highlighted in the square by Shapley Attractor, Haumea, and Hawaii there. So there's a link between Astraea, Pluto, Aquila-Altair, and the conjunction in Scorpio here at the very deep level. And the highlight of Pluto here is significant too, because in January, after the Capricorn new moon, we had all the personal planets conjuncting 3 degrees of Aquarius and Pluto there. We had Venus on January 19th conjunct Pluto at 3 degrees. And on January 22nd, Mercury was conjunct Pluto. And then the day after, on January 23rd, the Sun was conjunct Pluto. And lastly, on January 27th, Mars was conjunct Pluto. So Pluto, before this full moon, has been highlighted significantly. And now Astraea is here to highlight the importance of that personal call to transformation, to increase the self-awareness about our own soul journey and the energy shifts, the ups and downs, and the call for our soul to return to simplicity, to peace, to calm, and to the energy of pure innocence. Because that's also what asteroid Hawaii and dwarf planet Haumea is representing. This connection to pure universal energy, no limitation to the creativity that is available to us. So this square is inviting us to expand, to become aware of the challenges that we are in, but in that challenge or limitation that we may find ourselves in on the outside, to reach for the silence within, the calm. And Astraea here is a significant guide at this time, because it's also in myth said that Astraea was the last being to leave Earth due to chaos, to turmoil, and turning into the constellation of Virgo. And she had decided to stay on Earth as long as she could to be of service, to nurture that harmony, inner peace, inner calm within other souls. So what asteroid Astraea is representing is very much balance, justice, harmony, and in conjunction here with Aquila-Altair, which is the eagle's perspective, the higher perspective, the long-term perspective, long-term transformation. This is a powerful combination that has also been very much highlighted by personal planets leading up to this Leo full moon. And we also have the conjunction between asteroid Hawaii and Haumea here in conjunction with Shapley Attractor, which is an otherworldly magnitude of energy. And this is also representing the opportunity we have to reach for unity consciousness of a higher frequency. And since this conjunction happens in the sign of Scorpio, it's alluding to the magic of life, the limited experience that we have in the inner world is not limited to a physical vessel. We can have an inner experience of flow, a connection to universal flow and universal connection, and a multidimensional connection between the seen and the unseen. And Haumea is very much that integrator between the seen and unseen. So here we have a remembrance again with ancient civilizations and the potential of bringing back higher frequencies higher perspectives, higher ways of living at this time. And this square is a prime example of that invitation. So what houses do you have? The sign of Aquarius and the sign of Scorpio, early degrees there. And take a look at what houses you have in your birth chart that is engaging this square, because to raise your awareness about how to view your daily life as magical. So this square is very much linked to Earth, and it's provided by the connection with Astraea there, and also with Haumea and Hawaii, because you could argue that Aquarius is an air sign and Scorpio is a water sign. But here we have a very strong connection to the physical realm as well, with the early degrees that are involved here in the first decan, which is the physical realm. So let's take a look at energetic theme 2, action with loving kindness, next. So here we have the second theme that I've called action with loving kindness. And here we're going to focus on another square in the chart between Mercury conjunct asteroid Chariklo there at 21 degree of Aquarius. So there's a lot of focus on sign of Aquarius. And the square here goes to Taurus, Perseus-Capulus at 22 degrees of Taurus. And this is a very interesting square as well, with a lot of guidance for us. What we also notice is that Venus is right behind Mercury there. So I have included Venus as well as part of this interpretation of this energy. And if we take a look at Mercury conjunct Chariklo, Chariklo is Chiron's wife. And Chiron's wife is the divine feminine part of the healing process, the more receptive, the more intuitive healing opportunity that we have. Chiron represents more the action taking, if you will, part of healing, where we go from a pain point to a potential. And Chariklo is very linked into the intuitive water element. And Mercury clearly has a message for us at this Leo full moon, because the conjunction here and with Venus closely following behind Mercury here, the focus on divine feminine receptive energy is significant. And Venus and Mercury are coming out of a conjunction on January 29th. Venus is significantly influential also as part of this energy signature. Now let's take a look at Perseus-Capulus at 22 degrees of Taurus. The Perseus constellation, you may be familiar with the focus on Perseus-Algol, but Perseus-Capulus, and we're going to talk more about Perseus-Algol in energetic theme 3 coming up. But here in theme 2, this Perseus-Capulus fixed star is associated very much with determination, being headstrong and wanting to move forward. You can also see there that Capulus is located on the image here up in Perseus' hand, ready to strike. And if you're not familiar with the myth of Perseus, he was the one that cut off Medusa's head, and the Pegasus constellation was created. And ultimately, this myth, the way I interpret it, is very much the detachment from our mental domain and the invitation to be led by the heart instead, and therefore connecting with universal flow and wisdom. And let's take a look at Chariklo as well and her energy some more. So here we have Chariklo, and she is a water nymph. And as I mentioned, she's the wife of Chiron. So she is a healer. She's a shaman on the divine feminine approach, which is more receptive connection with the universe and reading the signs, going with the flow, riding the wave, and listening within to the rhythms of a process of healing. Chariklo very much represents compassion and patience, and that pure loving kindness that is part of us all. Every soul is based in loving kindness. And while Chiron may be connected more to the throat chakra, Chariklo is linked into the heart chakra. And Chariklo is connected also to the physical realm through embodiment and creating space for that traveling to the cosmos or connection with the universe. And if we take a look at her orbit there, I've pointed out Chariklo's orbit here with an arrow and also Chiron's orbit here. And they converge between Uranus and Neptune. And particularly also Chariklo is traversing the space between Saturn and Uranus. They have an egg-shaped orbit. This egg-shaped orbit may suggest also the natural characteristics to connect between the physical realm and universal realms. So if we go back to the square here, the sign of Taurus is very earthbound. And in the outer world, we may feel tempted to go about it like Perseus-Capulus there with his raised arm and ready to take action and go at it. But to balance that, Chariklo and Mercury's message here together is to listen within to the rhythm of the process and ride that wave instead of taking action and going at it, because the healing space may be found more within than in the outer environment at this time. So for this square, take a look at what house you have: late degrees of Aquarius, third decan, and also third decan of Taurus. And that may give you guidance on how to balance this inner calm and outer chaos type of energy that is so highlighted here at this Leo full moon. All right, are you ready for theme 3? And here, this theme is also a deep dive in the members only video. We're going to talk about the sacred sites, markers that I've found in this chart, and the connection it may have to your soul journey. So here we have theme 3, cosmic grounding. And as I mentioned, this is also the members only video. The members only video is going to be an extension of this theme. So let's go. So this Leo full moon is very interesting with its potential connection to sacred sites on Earth, because we have 2 significant conjunctions in the chart with markers for sacred sites. In addition to Atlantis, that the sun is in exact conjunction with, we also have Chiron there at 23 degrees of Aries conjunct asteroid Giza at 23 degrees of Aries as well. Very close to Aries as well at 24 degrees, if we want to include her and that energy that she comes with. The second conjunction here that I want to highlight today is Uranus in retrograde at 27 degrees of Taurus, conjunct Stonehenge, asteroid Stonehenge, at 27 degrees of Taurus as well. And when something is exactly conjunct to the degree, not necessarily the minute, but to the degree, it means something, to me at least. So I thought this cannot be a coincidence. This energy is significant, highlighted at this Leo full moon for a reason. So let's dive into that. And now with Neptune at 0 degree of Aries, we also have a more focus on the sign of Aries. And it's going to increase as we move into February, when Saturn is going to catch up to Neptune at 0 degree of Aries there, in the historic conjunction that we're going to have. We're going to talk more about that in the next video that I will release. But now But at this Leo full moon, let's focus on the message here from Giza conjunct Chiron in opposition with Booth's Actress at 24 degrees of Libra. And I also wanted to mention that Mars is involved here as well at 7 degrees of Aquarius, because Mars is the ruler of the sign of Aries and also will be the ruler of that conjunction in February, later in February, that I just mentioned. So hold that thought, because I also wanted to point out a square that is formed with Lyra constellation and the fixed star Sulaphat at 22 degrees of Capricorn here. And Sulaphat is associated with music, with frequency, with high frequency music, harmony, light language as well. So there's a link here into potential soul memories related to light language and linked into the Giza plateau here. And often Giza is also linked into the Orion constellation. So this link here, this square between Lyra and the link in through Giza to Orion, is a hidden treasure potentially to uncover through light language or through music at this time. And the sign of Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is almost getting ready to get into Aries in this conjunction with Neptune. So there may be a link here with the importance of the Lyra constellation and Sulaphat in particular, and that link to Saturn and Neptune conjunction later in February. And Saturn will enter Aries on February 13th. So again, this is a potential connection here to awaken soul memories related to the Giza plateau. And in conjunction with Chiron here, there's a process likely for transformation, the archetypal energy of Chiron, and also with Chariklo so highlighted. This healing potential is significant here. And as we move into February, it's highlighted even more. So here, I just wanted to show you the Giza plateau there and asteroid Giza and the actress fixed star that you may have seen before on the sky map in my previous videos. But actress in opposition here to this conjunction between Giza and Chiron is representing the higher perspective of healing, likely through the emotional body that is taking place. This process may be facilitated through music or higher frequency light language, etc. So there are healing modalities that we may unearth, additional ones, or are invited to significantly emphasize the existing ones that are known. But this is also a very interesting time to explore our own soul memories and connection to the Giza Plateau in Egypt, for example. And this square to Lyra-Sulaphat, the lyre, has to do with that connection to music and frequency and the mastery of healing arts using frequency and vibration. So now let's take a look at the second conjunction here between Uranus in retrograde and Stonehenge, conjunct Perseus-Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus, in square with Hydra-Alphard at 27 degrees of Leo. And this is a highly powerful square. Perseus-Algol and Hydra-Alphard are always in square in the chart, but now with Uranus being here long term and now in retrograde, Uranus stationing direct 2 days after this full moon, this is a significant highlight by Uranus. And this square is one of fire and earth. And the Algol fixed star is the third eye of Medusa's head. So here we have a highlight on the need to connect to higher frequencies in a physical body, represented by Taurus here. In this square to Hydra-Alphard, Hydra-Alphard is connected to Kundalini energy that is of very high divine feminine character. Very interesting square. And if we look at the sign of Taurus and the sign of Leo, Taurus is ruled by Venus and Leo is ruled by the sun. So where are Venus and the sun? Also in Aquarius. There's a lot going on with the sign of Aquarius, which may represent also the future human, future energy that we are moving into as part of New Earth. And particularly the sun here highlighted conjunct Atlantis. So there are multiple sacred sites highlighted here at the Leo full moon. That is clear. So here we have Stonehenge, asteroid Stonehenge with number 9325. And Stonehenge is one of the sacred sites in the UK, conjunct Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus, conjunct Perseus-Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus there. And as you can see, Algol there on this image is the third eye of Medusa's head. And on the sky map there, I have pointed Algol, fixed star in the Perseus constellation. So this is a powerful reminder of the importance and the role of the sacred sites. And it's particularly highlighted here in this Leo full moon. And Stonehenge particularly also is linked into solstice alignments and also other solar and galactic cycles. And also here we have the fixed star Alphard in the Hydra constellation, which is the longest constellation in the sky, representing this Kundalini energy that is life force connected with life force connected through the chakra system in the physical vessel. And this square between Uranus and Stonehenge to Hydra-Alphard is that invitation to allow our body to be a vessel for that Kundalini energy at this Leo full moon. Very powerful. And in the members only video, we're going to dive deeper with these sacred sites and other markers within the astrological chart that we can pull in and make additional interpretations and insights coming out of this Leo full moon. So I'm excited to dive into that. So yes, there is a lot more to say about this connection with sacred sites. And in the members only video, we will dive deeper with this theme of cosmic grounding, which I see is emphasized at this Leo full moon, where we are connecting cosmos to certain points on planet Earth, including the sacred sites that are highlighted here in the chart. So the energy associated with this Leo full moon has very much a character of life force release, but also the connection to Earth, the physical realm, and the connection between other realms and physical realm. And we're now stepping into energy that is more unified. It's starting now because come later in February, we are also getting reminded of what that means with that conjunction between Neptune and Saturn in Aries. And I may release a separate video on my interpretation of that chart of the February 20th conjunction between Neptune and Saturn at 0 degree 45 minutes, because it's such a historical conjunction. Look forward to that later on in the membership. So it feels like this Leo full moon is a deep, deep invitation to go into a space of silence, to connect with that inner calm within ourselves that is connected to universal flow, irrespective of any external turmoil that may show up at this time. So I have a couple of questions for Leo full moon energy some more. So the first question is this full moon axis, Leo Aquarius, but also the highlight by asteroid Atlantis conjuncting the sun there. The question is, what is your connection to ancient civilizations and Atlantis particularly? And you can also take a look at where Atlantis, asteroid Atlantis, is falling in your chart. That is often a clue to your connection to the Atlantean era. And clearly, we are invited to go deeper with our soul memories associated with ancient lifetimes, and particularly Atlantis at this time. And this is also an exploration in releasing any limitations that may have been placed on us during this time. Often, transformation comes when we become aware of that limitation or issue. So the suggestion here is also to listen to what comes up within, and it may be associated with ancient civilizations or it may not. Second question is the square there between Hawaii and Haumea and Astraea and Pluto. And the question is, how are you balancing the urge to proceed or take action with sit back and listen and receive? at this time, because Astraea's strong message here in conjunction with Pluto is that invitation to, again, listen to the messages that are coming up from within. The third question is related to Mercury and Chariklo conjunction in square with Perseus-Capulus, along the same lines there, because it feels like it's the urge to go forward or take action versus the receptive messages again. So that's the same question here. How do you balance that? How do you balance that energy between wanting to take action versus listening to the inner depth of your soul? So I added a fourth question here because it is also excited to see that the sacred sites are highlighted in the Leo full moon chart. So is there a sacred site that you are more drawn to? Ask yourself that question and you may also want to plot the sacred sites that I have in this video in your own chart and see where that falls, because that may also give you clues or guidance around your connection to, let's say, Giza Plateau or Stonehenge or any other sacred sites. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the pinned comment and description box below. We are having a lot of energy in February here coming up. So there's only a few more days where I will have the Doorway to the Aquarian Age reading available to book until January 31st. So take a look at the link in the pinned comment and description box below for that. And I also wanted to show you how you can book a reading with me. I want to show you my new website and how to navigate the readings page this time. So stay with me and I'll show you. So here, if you come to my website, ulrikasullivan.com, and you will be clicking up here in the top right corner, and down comes the menu. And here you can go to book a reading, which is opening up another page. And when you get to the readings page, you're going to come to this section here immediately, where I have 3 levels that you can choose from. So here, what I have for you is also an opportunity for not only having your reading, which is the 2-hour level 1 there, soul activation, the 2-hour galactic astrology reading, and which is very popular. I have also included an opportunity to integrate insights into your daily life from the reading itself. So level 2 is including 3 sessions of integration. And also level 3 is called Soul Mastery, which is my VIP journey. And if you are looking for the reading portion only, select this 2-hour astrology reading level 1 to start off with. And here below, I have the special readings. I will have other special readings coming in the future here, but this will be available until January 31st. And that is the Doorway to Aquarian Age astrology reading with me. And so I wanted to show you what I have on this reading page, because if you select one of the options, you're going to be scrolled down to each of these options with more information. And just a heads up, in February, I will offer a new special reading, which is the Neptune-Saturn conjunction reading that is going to focus on your personal interpretation of this conjunction, this historical energy that we are presented with. And that reading will be available in and around February 1st and moving on. So in time for this Leo full moon here, this new special reading will be up on my website. Thank you for staying with me all this time. I appreciate your presence here, watching, listening to New Light Living podcast. Visit me on ulrikasullivan.com and take a tour of my website and see what you are drawn to. I invite you to our next video. And February is going to be very exciting in terms of big energy, historic energy coming through. And if you're interested in joining our membership, join at the galaxy level and you will access the entire library of members-only videos. I wish you a wonderful beginning of February here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.